Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of Japan's most famous and maybe most mysterious experiences, the onsen. And believe me, this is about so much more than just hot water. By the end of this, you'll totally get the philosophy behind it all, and you'll have some fantastic conversation starters for your next language exchange. So let's jump in.
For a lot of first-timers, the whole idea of an onsen can be, well, a little intimidating. It's often described as a courageous thing to do, but one that always ends up being an unforgettable experience. So what's the big deal? And what are these hurdles that make it feel so daunting at first?
You see, for Japanese people, taking a bath isn't just about getting clean. It's a full-on ritual. The idea is that when you sink into that steaming hot water, you're literally shedding the armor of your daily stress, your job title, all of it. It's about cleansing your soul.
So here's our game plan to get you comfortable with the whole concept. We'll start with the gift of the volcanic archipelago, basically why Japan has these things in the first place. Then we'll get into the philosophy with how to wash mind and body. After that, the super practical, unspoken rules. Then we'll tackle the big modern debate of tradition versus modernity. And finally, we'll arm you with some great topics for language exchange.
First up, the gift of the volcanic archipelago. Because to really understand onsen, you first have to understand the ground beneath Japan's feet.
Japan is a volcanic country through and through. And yeah, that comes with earthquakes, but it also provides this amazing gift. Thousands of natural hot springs, or onsen, bubbling up from the earth. This isn't just tap water with the heat turned up, it's packed with minerals, it's therapeutic, a real gift from the earth. And often, you get to enjoy them in these beautiful outdoor baths called rotenburo.
Okay, so we know where the water comes from. Now let's get into the why, the philosophy of it all. This is section 2, how to wash the mind and body. And trust me, once you get this core idea, all the rules of onsen etiquette are going to make perfect sense.
So here it is, the absolute key difference you have to remember. In many Western cultures, the bathtub is where you go to wash yourself with soap and shampoo. But in Japan, the onsen is only for soaking and relaxing. It's a shared, clean space, which means you have to be totally clean before you even think about getting in.
And this leads us right to the concept that causes the biggest culture shock for most visitors, the public nudity. There's a term for it, hadaka no tsukiyai, which you could translate as naked communion. The philosophy is beautiful, really. It's the idea that when you take off your clothes, which are symbols of your job, your status, your wealth, you can connect with people on a much more honest and open level. It's all about building trust.
All right, let's get practical. Time to cover the unspoken rules so you can walk into any onsen feeling totally confident like you've been doing it for years. Okay, listen up, because this is the #1 golden rule. Before you even dip a toe in that beautiful main bath, you have to go to the washing station, the araiba. You sit down on a little stool and you wash your entire body, head to toe with soap, and you have to rinse off every last bubble. Only then, once you're squeaky clean, can you enter the shared water. It's all about respect.
So, you've probably seen pictures or videos of this, right? People just chilling in an onsen, looking super relaxed, with a little folded towel perched on their head. So what's the deal with that?
Well, it's actually a super clever mix of practicality and respect. First and foremost, the small towel you use to wash yourself must never, ever, ever touch the bath water. That keeps the shared water pure. So putting it on your head is just a convenient way to keep it out of the way. Plus, if you dip it in cold water first, it can help keep you from getting dizzy from all that heat.
Okay, now we need to talk about a big one. This is where tradition and the modern world can sometimes clash. Let's talk about the tattoo dilemma.
To get why so many onsen have a no tattoos rule, you really have to look at the history. In the past, tattoos in Japan were linked with punishment, and more recently, they became associated with antisocial forces like the Yakuza. Of course, that's a world away from the global view today of tattoos as fashion or self-expression. So the rule isn't personal, it's just deeply rooted in that specific historical context.
But hey, things are slowly starting to change. As more tourists visit Japan, many places are adapting. Some will let you in if you can cover your tattoo with a special waterproof sticker. And a lot of places offer private rentable baths called kashikiriburo, which are amazing. The bottom line is just always check the onsen's website and the rules before you go.
Okay, so you've got all this great cultural knowledge now. The next step? Turning it into a fantastic conversation with your Japanese language exchange partner. Let's get you set up.
Here's a great question to start with. You could ask, あなたの国ではサウナ
や更衣室などで他人の前で裸になることに抵抗はありますか? Basically, in your country, are people uncomfortable being naked in front of others, like in a sauna or locker room? It's a really interesting way to compare cultures.
And if you want to go a little deeper, you could ask about the tattoo issue. 日本の温泉がタトゥーを禁止していることについてどう思いますか? Or what are your thoughts on Japanese onsen banning tattoos? This can open up a really rich conversation about tradition, change, and respect.
And for something a little more light and fun, just ask about their daily routine. あなたはshower派ですか? Bath派ですか? Which just means, are you a shower person or a bath person? A lot of Japanese people love their daily bath, so it's a great way to talk about how you each like to unwind.
And just to make sure you're feeling extra prepared, here's a little vocabulary cheat sheet. You've got geothermal for the science, naked communion for the philosophy, hygiene for the rules, taboo for the tattoo talk, and therapeutic to describe that amazing feeling. Dropping these words will really take your conversation to the next level.
So when you really boil it all down, an onsen is so much more than a bath. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to drop your guard, to connect with the raw energy of the earth, and to take part in a quiet, shared experience built on trust and respect. And that really makes you think, doesn't it? That whole philosophy of naked communion doesn't have to be just about clothes. In any conversation, especially when you're learning a language, what kind of mental armor, like the fear of making a mistake or sounding silly, could you take off to build a more real, more honest connection?
So there you have it. You've got the background, you know the rules, and you've got the conversation starters. You're ready. I really hope this helps you feel courageous enough to try it and to have an unforgettable conversation about it. Thanks for tuning in.